response in that part of the world. We'll tell you that we are getting word from Dhahran, that's the international hotel outside the Air Force Base where a lot of the attacks were launched from, that there has been an attack or an air raid warning, at least, that we do not know whether there has been an attack. There's a big bomb shelter in the basement of that hotel, but we have lost satellite transmission. Both the television, we've just gotten it back, I'm told. Here's NBC's Mike Betcher in Saudi Arabia. Mike, what's going on there?
Well, at the present time, it's very quiet here. A bit of paranoia because of the attack in Israel. Today, there was expectation that perhaps all of the surface-to-surface missiles that contain gas might have been destroyed, but later in the day, more real assessments began coming out. People said the mobile missiles could not be destroyed, and as a matter of fact, a young Marine came around today giving us these nerve agent protective pills that can help in case there's a nerve gas attack. He said none of the men in camouflage out here believe all the batteries have been destroyed. So at the present time, there's concern here if those missiles were able to get to Israel, but so far it's been quiet, Tom.
But, any air raid sirens or warnings there so far, Mike?
Well, it's outside, no. Inside the hotel, yes. So we assume there's some sort of confusion.
And no explosions? You've heard no explosions or anything?
No, nothing like that. It's very quiet. We just lost power about 20 seconds before you came to me.
All right, Mike, we're going to go back to Tel Aviv now to NBC's Martin Fletcher. Martin, what's the latest?
Well, Tom, this gas mask may come in useful after all. We've been told that one of the warheads that fell in central Tel Aviv had a chemical warhead. That's from our man who's listening to the police frequencies. All right,
but put on the gas mask.
I think I will, actually, this time.
Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and do that.
No time for heroics.
No. We'll tell you that there have been missiles launched in Israel. It appears now, based on early police radio reports, radio reports that one of them may have contained a chemical warhead. We do not want to in any way panic anyone who's looking in on all of this. Chemical warfare is a very crude form of warfare altogether. It can dissipate in a hurry, but of course it is extraordinarily lethal. Israel is quite well prepared. Gas masks have been distributed to the population in the last couple of days, and part of the warning system has been that we're going to have everybody that we can conceivably put on a gas mask in that country. That was part of the civil warning system. We've asked Martin Fletcher, our correspondent there, to put on his and his assistant as well. Fred Francis, what have you got? I'm sorry, let's go to John Cochran. John, what's the latest?
Tom, we're not getting confirmation here yet. It sounded like Fred was about to get it. Just before I came out here about 20 minutes ago, I was talking to somebody here just about this Israeli thing, and they were very concerned about that. You want to go to Fred?
Yep, let's go to Fred Francis, the Pentagon. Fred?
Yeah, Tom, we have confirmation. We have confirmation of six missile launches from the western desert of Iraq into Tel Aviv. Senior officials say they do not know what kind of warheads. The satellites did pick up the flash of 6 missile launches, and we know that Martin has been saying that anywhere from 5 to 9 have hit Tel Aviv. We do not have confirmation of any hits in Jerusalem as yet. The senior officials say we do not know what damage, and when I ask what the prognosis is for an Israeli response, I said it will depend on damage and deaths what the Israelis do. Tom?
Well, they can't take very long to make that kind of an assessment, can they? The Israelis have been well known for their swift retaliation, and if their country is in danger, they'll want to make an attack as swiftly as possible, I would think.
Well, Tom, that may have been true yesterday in the opening minutes and hours of this conflict, but the Israelis have been incredibly impressed by the American and Allied action over Iraq. And so that may temper their response somewhat, knowing that the United States is and its allies are moving. That may temper their response, but there's certainly no guarantee of that.
All right, Martin Fletcher, can you talk to us now through your gas mask in Tel Aviv?
I can talk to you, Tom. I'm not sure if you can hear me through this thing. It's like being in an aquarium. But we have just got a report that 3 more missiles have fallen in the north of Israel. We don't know if there's a chemical warhead there or not. There's been an announcement on the radio that all citizens should put their gas masks on. They should stay in their sealed rooms, which would normally be in a high place in their building. They should not go down to the basement, to the bomb shelters, which is where you go for conventional war. So it's clear that the Israeli government is fearing, well, it's happening, as we know, gas wars. We don't know how many of these warheads are gas, how many are conventional. At least one gas warhead, at least one conventional warhead, we know that. It's a bit difficult to talk, Tom, here.
No, we can hear you actually very well indeed. Martin, should you be taking other protective measures with exposed skin and so on?
No, Tom. This is good for most kinds of gas war. When you're outside and various other kinds of mustard gas, for instance, different kinds of nerve gas, they come down and they settle on your skin, but you have to be outside for that to fall on top of you, and so we are prepared. Actually, I have all the kind of injections here and powder to brush off my skin, but as long as I stay in this sealed room, this is the only device I need.
And tell us about the monitoring devices that the Israelis set up so that they could detect as quickly as possible the composition of the gas and whether, in fact, it was a chemical warfare attack.
Well, Tom, the civil defense has been preparing for this very thing for weeks, and they've got a very sophisticated system where they can find out not only whether it is any gas war, but what kind of gas it is. That's the critical thing for the citizen to know what kind of chemical war he's facing, because some gases kill you instantly, within seconds. Others will only harm you. Some can blind you. You have to know what you're facing, and that's, well, there's not much I can add to that, Tom. I really don't know too much about how they do that, but they certainly have a developed system to do it.